This is Owens Buzz On Biz. Owens Buzz On Biz takes a look at industry and market analysis and market strategies. Presented by marketing and sales students. Owens Buzz On Biz.
Hello everyone, and welcome to today's podcast. My name is Brooklyn Cunningham, and I'm currently a marketing major here at Owens Community College. I am joined with a very special person, Dean Bill Taylor at Owens Community College. Our class is very lucky to have Dean Taylor here today to get some insight on the marketing program here at Owens, so let's get into it. Could you start off by introducing yourself, where you went to school, and what brought you to Owens?
Absolutely. I'm originally from Fremont, Ohio. I'm a Northwest Ohio guy. Fremont, Ross, Little Giant. When I graduated, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. My dad threw me in the back of the car, and we did the college tour across Ohio trying to find out what was going to be a good fit for me. At the very end of the day, on the way home, we stopped at a small place in Delaware, Ohio called Ohio Wesleyan. Took a look at the college. It had some things that really appealed to me. One of the things it was known for was being a character-building institution, and that was important to me. I wanted to learn a little bit more in college than just textbook and theory and those sort of things. I wanted to learn how to be a little bit better person. And I absolutely loved my experience at Ohio Wesleyan. It was a very small institution, probably about maybe a third the size of Owens Community College. But I took my experience from Ohio Wesleyan in terms of the quality of education that I received, the caring of faculty, and when I came to the community college environment, that was something that I brought with me. One of the things that I realized as an adult was the quality of education I received really had very little to do with how much I paid for my tuition as opposed to how much my professors cared. And so the idea of working in a community college, working with young people, and helping them develop and become stronger individuals was something that I really love and enjoy.
What role do you play in the marketing program specifically?
As dean, I oversee the folks who are running the marketing program. Directly under me is Dr. Reddy Shatina, who is fantastic. If you haven't had an opportunity to meet with her, I really recommend that you do. She does a lot of work with our internships and those sort of things. The marketing department is one of roughly 4 different areas that we have in the business program. And I love how much our marketing students interact with campus and also outside communities, and gives students really great experience out in the real world.
How does Owens prepare students for the workforce compared to a traditional 4-year university?
I think the role of the 4-year institution is changing a little bit, and Owens does a great job of preparing students who choose to go on for 4-year or even beyond. And that's one of the things that's special about this institution, is people come here for a multitude of reasons. Some people want to go directly into the workforce, take a couple courses, get some certifications, that sort of thing, while other folks are looking for a little bit more academics and choose the applied degrees, while you also have the opportunity to transfer just about all of your coursework to a 4-year institution really efficiently and save some money. So one of the things I really like about the community college is that it's not going to impoverish our students for a generation before you start making some income and those sorts of things. So it's a great place to start. You have the opportunity to go directly into the workforce, and that's something that I really encourage. You had mentioned before we started about how you did an internship this summer. And to be able to go out after 2 years and get a job and potentially have your employer help you with completing a 4-year degree if you choose to, it just puts the college in a great position to be able to help students achieve that goal if it's something they want to aspire to.
What makes the Owens marketing program stand out among their other community college or universities in the region?
Well, I think the first thing is obviously the faculty. The great thing about 2-year college campuses is the faculty's responsibility primarily is to teach. Their tenure isn't going to be based upon whether they're writing books or securing grants. Their primary focus is to work specifically with students. And that's one of the things that I enjoyed when I was a professor, was the opportunity to work strictly with students, and that being the main focus. So that's one of the things that I really like about the Owens marketing program, is how dedicated our faculty are to students, the extra mile that they're willing to go outside of class and do those sorts of things. The focus on teaching is what really makes the community colleges special.
Is the marketing program accredited or recognized by any national or professional organizations? How has the program changed since you first started working at Owens?
Well, I've been with Owens for 1.5 years, so some of you have been with Owens longer than I have. I'll speak a little bit to the accreditation issue and those sorts of things. To talk about how the program's changed since I've been here, there have been some modifications, and I'll talk about that as well. But a couple things regarding what I've seen changes in the marketing profession and the marketing program has been a little bit more focus on the digital marketing aspects of it. And we're part of that today as a podcast. But boy, there are things that are changing out there in the business community that are having dramatic impacts on the marketing profession and marketing education. Artificial intelligence is a huge aspect, data analytics. The field is constantly changing. So I've got good news and bad news for you guys. While you may finish your degree soon from Owens Community College, you're going to be going to school and learning one way or another for the rest of your career. It might be self-directed learning. It might be through your employer. It might be through a professional association that you belong to related to the marketing profession. Relative to the accreditation issue, our marketing program is accredited, and not all two-year schools have accredited marketing or business programs. Ours is accredited through ACBSP. I would probably butcher the acronym, but the purpose of accreditation is to make sure that our program has, first, the appropriate curriculum, and we're teaching what really needs to be done in the classroom. And it's nice to have somebody else come in and take a look at what we're doing and make sure that we're on track with that. Second thing is to make sure that our faculty members are credentialed. We want to make sure that they have a background in marketing, that this isn't something new to them or a side course that they teach occasionally. So those accreditation standards in terms of curriculum and taking a look at our faculty members and those sorts of things. But the other thing that accreditation does is it also provides some opportunity for faculty and staff professional development to make sure that they're staying current in the field.
Thank you, Dean Taylor. Now I'll pass things over to Kylie, who will dive deeper into the curriculum and career opportunities.
What is the typical timeline for completing the marketing program, and are there accelerated or part-time options?
One thing that surprises a lot of people today is the average time to completion for a 2-year college student is 6 years. 50% of the students that attend community colleges are also working and consider themselves to be employees that are taking care of themselves, their families, those sorts of things, in addition to going to school. So the program is set up that if you choose to, you can complete the full associate's degree in as short as, I believe it's 19 or 20 months. What would traditionally be considered to be 2 years, but realistically you're starting in September and you're ending in May, so it's not really a full 2 years. You can complete our degree in 19, 20 months, which is fantastic. But the thing that makes Owens and community college structures unique is that we recognize that all students aren't going to be the traditional 4-year student that comes and lives on campus and is planning on completing the degree within 4 years. We can get you out of here quick if that's your goal. But if you've got other things that you're balancing in terms of your life and your family and other things, Owens can work with you to help make sure that you get to that goal and stay on path to make sure that you achieve those goals.
Do students get exposure to real-world marketing projects and tools like social media platforms, email marketing, or analytics dashboards?
Absolutely. We brought on a new faculty member last year by the name of Anastasia Blogan. And her background was actually working in marketing firms and running marketing teams. And she's brought a little bit more of the digital marketing flair to us, as well as a little bit of artificial intelligence. I know she serves on our artificial intelligence committee here on campus. And one of the things that she's constantly telling me is that we need to make students aware of not just the tools, but how to use them effectively. And things like appropriate prompts will make a huge difference in how those artificial tools are actually benefiting or serving you as a student or employee. So it's been fantastic to work with her and our other marketing faculty to work on some of those things in the classroom. Obviously, your professor, David Seeger, is actively involved in things like websites and analytics and podcasts and exposing you guys to these sorts of things. Owens having the tools on campus, such as not only a recording studio, but a radio station, the ability to do a podcast, the ability to do video podcasts, and expose you guys to some of those tools is just remarkable. It's dramatically different than when I attended my first marketing class, and all they did was preach to you about the 4 Ps. So it's nice to see that you guys are getting some real-world application, applying those things that you're learning in the classroom to the real world.
Can students earn certificates while at Owens like Google Ads or HubSpot?
That I can't speak to. I'd have to ask to the professors in each one of the classes that you're teaching. In marketing, I don't believe we currently offer that. That is a great suggestion. Obviously, Google Analytics, those sorts of things are huge players in the marketing industry. You can't talk about digital marketing footprint without talking about analytics and those sorts of things. It's going to be a growing field.
Does Owens partner with local or national businesses to provide hands-on learning or internships?
Absolutely. And we have a person here with us today. Can you tell us just briefly about what your internship experience was this summer? You shared it with me earlier and it was fantastic.
Yes, so I got the opportunity to have my internship with Party in the Parks. So I would help out with all of our events every Friday night, and I would manage everything from the bands to people who were selling drinks to the food truck vendors, making sure everything was like running smoothly and getting people in and out. And then if there was any problems, that I would step in and fix that immediately. But it was a really fun experience, and my supervisor, Cheryl Hardy, she was such a great supervisor. She helped me a lot and really opened my eyes to event planning, because I've only ever learned it through a textbook. So it was really nice to have the opportunity to learn and grow in that field.
We're placing students in internships all across the city and some outside of the city based on, if we've got a student that lives in a different community. We've placed interns with Dana Corporation, with accounting firms, with marketing firms, and that's a great option that students have available to them. They can either do the internship or the capstone, and that's a great choice for students. But if you've got the opportunity, speaking to any students that may be listening, an internship is a great way to go. It gives you a foot in the door to be able to try, test drive your career field a little bit and find out what you like, but more importantly, what you may not like, so that you can kind of take a look at what you want to be focusing on in the future.
What types of roles do marketing graduates typically pursue after completing the program?
Marketing, public relations, advertising, product analytics, market research. The field is really unlimited because in addition to your marketing degree that you're receiving, you're also getting exposed to some other fields, whether that's accounting or whether that's managing individuals. While you may start out in marketing, you may find out that as you continue career path in that field, you're still going to be involved in marketing, but you may now be managing a department. You may be looking at finances. You might be trying to figure out how to manage people effectively. So a lot of those other skills, I'm going to warn you, some of those classes that you might not think of may end up being some of the most valuable that you've ever had. When I went to college, the class that I struggled with the most was statistics. I'm seeing some cringes in the audience. They may know what I'm talking about. It was a very difficult class for me my freshman year. I missed a couple of classes early on, fell behind. I was too bashful to really be effective in the course and had to retake it. Ironically, in my college experience, the very first class that I ever taught was statistics, the only class that I'd ever failed in college. You got to be aware of some of those classes you might not like. They might end up being the most valuable and important one that you ever had.
That's great to hear about some of those resources available. To continue, Cameron will ask some questions about soft skills and preparing for life after graduation.
How does the program help students build soft skills like communication, leadership, and critical thinking?
Soft skills are so important. Almost every profession that we go into, and especially in the marketing profession, you're going to be working with different people from different organizations, different companies, political, elected officials, those sorts of things. So the soft skills are really something that is undervalued, I think, when college students come into campus. They may not recognize how vital those are going to be to the rest of your career. Opportunities to give presentations, podcasts like this, speak to other folks. The more people that you can interact with on a college campus, the more comfortable you're going to be in those environments. I can remember when I first started teaching, and frankly, for the first 2 weeks of each term, I would get very nervous because it was a new environment. It was new people that I didn't know. They didn't know me. After those couple weeks, it was a different environment. So having the opportunity to have those experiences in college will make those things infinitely more comfortable for you the more frequently you do it. And so I'm glad you guys have the opportunity to do something like this today.
What kind of student do you think thrives in the marketing program at Owens?
I think just about any student can thrive in our marketing program. Marketing is a little bit different than accounting. My wife happens to be an accountant. She's a CPA. She's fantastic. As amazing as she is, she's not outgoing. I think that's something that students that are going into a marketing program need to recognize, that they're going to be dealing with individuals from across the entire spectrum. And so your communication skills, being comfortable with people that are different than you, being exposed to people that have all sorts of different perspectives, values, those sorts of things, you're going to come in contact with in the field of marketing. But also then focusing on what is it that different segments for the things that you're marketing, how are we going to appeal to them? What's going to get them to become more interested, more likely to purchase, more likely to be a repeat customer? All of those things are super. So the marketing program, what type of person excels in a marketing program? Somebody who loves to work with people, somebody who's outgoing, somebody that is a little courageous, because you're going to be working with different people all of the time, whether it's a different client, a different company, a different organization. But that's also one of the things that really makes marketing special. You don't have that opportunity to work with different people each and every day when you're focusing on payroll. It's one company, and you're focused on those individuals. But in a marketing department for a marketing firm, advertising, public relations, you're going to be dealing with different people every day, and that's what makes it really special.
What advice would you give to students trying to stand out in today's competitive job market?
Well, I think you're already standing out by being a college student. Not everybody makes the leap to do what you all are doing. So number one, that makes you stand out a little bit. The average person does not go to college. The average person may not be working or doing an internship and those sorts of things. But I think there's a couple things that make young people really stand out as graduates. Number one, being a college graduate demonstrates something. It means that you're responsible. You take initiative. You're responsible for your own situation. You're able to handle tasks and challenges and those sorts of things. And today's employers are looking for a couple things for young people. Unfortunately, not everybody has a perception I do, because I work with young people on a daily basis, and I know how outstanding our young people are today. So number one thing I'm going to say is be yourself, be responsible, and make sure that you treat everybody as you'd like to be treated. When you go out in the workforce, your employers are going to notice those things. They're going to notice if you're there on time. Do you come to work every day? Are you prepared when you get there? Do you treat people with respect? Do you meet your deadlines? Those are the type of things that we try to get you to be experienced and have a pattern by the time you leave your college experience of doing those sorts of things. Because let me tell you something, if you're a young person, you've got your head on straight, you stick out like a sore thumb today. Not everybody's going to college. Not everybody's keeping their nose clean and doing the right things and making the appropriate decisions. And your employers will pick up on that very quick. That means you'll be very promotable very early. You're going to be more likely to be hired. You're going to be more likely to be recommended for that promotion. It's going to make you easier to get your next job. And so if you're that type of person that you come to class, you take notes, you're prepared, you treat everybody with respect, boy, you're going to have a great future. There's no better place to start modeling those things than in college.
Do you recommend stopping with a 2-year degree or continuing on to a bachelor's after Owens?
It's a personal choice, but I want to speak to both. There are whole other factors in our life outside of our college environment. Our health, our family, our goals, working, paying bills, those sorts of things. I think there's advantages to both. If the 4-year degree is something that you really set as a goal, there's really kind of two paths to get there as a 2-year college student. One is to plan that I'm going to go straight from completing my 2-year degree and transfer my credits to BG, Miami of Ohio, Ohio State, Tiffin University, Lord's College, wherever it happens to be. That's one option. Your second option is to go into the workforce after you get your 2-year degree. Find out a little bit about, hey, did I make the right career choice? Because let's face it, at the age of 20, maybe you might find out that when you go into the workforce, hey, accounting isn't for me, or marketing may not be for me. You've got an opportunity to be able to change course. Second thing related to that is you're gaining valuable experience. And a lot of your employers, if you're a good employee and they'll see that really early on, they're going to want to help you grow. And that's when you know you're working for somebody good. And if they're willing to help you get that 4-year degree, that's just a great thing. One, because you've got an employer that genuinely cares about you as an individual and your development. But second, how that helps you financially is unbelievable. When you start looking at the tuition costs compared to a 2-year school versus a 4-year public, you're talking 4 or 5 times the tuition. And if you're going to a private institution, it's even higher than that. So if you've got an employer that is willing to help you out, boy, there are some advantages to that. My son, for example, he came very close to completing his 2-year degree from a community college, transferred all of his credits, went to the University of Toledo, and then continued on. He got his MBA at 21 years of age. That would have never, ever been possible if it wasn't for the community college and doing things like CCP early on, but that was always his goal. My younger son, that wasn't as big of a priority to him. He wanted to get into the workforce and start making a paycheck. He wanted to gain some independence, wanted his own car, wanted his own home, those sorts of things. And now he's got a great job, but he's looking at going back to school to see where he might be promotable next as a result of it. So I think the 2-year school is a great place to start. It's just up to your own individual situation as to what's really going to be that aspiration for you, whether or not you might be comfortable going into the work environment and then kind of reflecting and deciding whether or not you want to do that or whether or not you want to make the leap and go right away. For me, I made the transition from my bachelor's degree to my master's degree because it was something I always wanted to do. And I was afraid if I went to work and started doing some other things, I might lose a little bit of that fire to go after that degree if I start raising a family and having kids and other priorities as well. But it's an individual decision, and Owens is a great place to start.
Thank you for sharing that advice. Now, Talon will wrap things up by exploring how technology and the future of marketing are shaping the program.
I'm going to go over emerging trends and the future of marketing. So with AI being more prominent recently in the marketing landscape, how has Owens been changing the curriculum to keep up with that?
Right now, we're taking a look at some modifications. Last year, I did a report for our faculty on the top 10 AI tools that are used in each one of the disciplines, whether it was marketing, whether it was accounting, whether it was business management, human resources, and the field is exploding. Some things that we need to know about AI is because such an emerging field, there's huge consolidation in the industry right now. If you were to author an AI tool, what's happening is the big four, whether it's Google, X, or whomever, they're acquiring each one of these resources. So the market is changing for these resources. One of the issues that we've got that we're going to look at in the next couple of years is how do we expose students to these AI tools? Because frankly, they're expensive, and there are zillions of them out there. If we were going to talk about a list of different marketing AI apps that are out there, you can talk about some of the big ones that we hear about every day from Google and X and their partners, but there are new emerging ones every single day tailored to different markets. So the question is, how do we expose students to these AI tools in a cost-effective manner? Now, we can expose you to AI and those sorts of things in a textbook and those sorts of things, but the goal is to really get those tools in the hands of students so that they're leaving this institution with some knowledge about that. That's what we're looking at right now for a change in the curriculum. Those types of things is how do we effectively get tools in the hands of students for them to be able to use? We've got a little bit to work to do on that.
Older teachers who were never involved with using AI or anything, how do you think it'd be for them to teach how to use it?
As an old guy, I learn new tricks. So I expect that of my faculty as well. And we've had some conversations in our Welcome Back meeting this year talking about the use of AI. A couple of years ago, the conversation on campus regarding AI was, well, that's plagiarism and it doesn't have a role in the college or a school environment. Within 2 years, it's amazing how outdated that perspective already is. Talk about AI students. If I have a conversation with you guys off the air and we start talking about AI tools, I'm going to be honest with you and say, well, I use them. I use them when I help put together a job description. I may not rely entirely on that. I'll put a job description together, tap into ChatGPT. Hey, what does a job description look like and what should the essential duties be? And I'll use that to check my work. So I think the use of AI tools is only going to grow. Older faculty are recognizing the importance of it. The dialogue on campus is changing from, geez, under what circumstances can AI be used to how do we make sure when our students leave here, they're the best equipped in using some of these tools. So I think you're going to see a huge transformation, not only in Owens, but academic institutions across the nation, is not only there's a more demand for students that have AI tools, but to make sure that our students, when they leave us, are the best skilled and the most competitive that they can be.
How essential do you think AI will be for marketing in like the foreseeable future?
I think it's essential right now. Those tools, whether you're talking about graphic design, artificial intelligence tools, media tools, those sorts of things, everything from editing a photo today to putting a marketing plan together can all be augmented through AI tools. As we talk about AI tools today, the thing that we've got to remember is what AI tools look like in 5 years is going to be completely different than what it is today. Some of the largest applications may still be around, but they're going to morph and change and have add-ins that are incorporated to it. So I think the best thing that a student can do is get familiar with AI tools in general. I don't think you have to be an expert in any one specific AI tool, but you've got to be comfortable as new ones come out that you're not intimidated by those tools.
Are there any new courses coming that students should look forward to with like the changes in marketing?
I don't perceive a big change in terms of the course names or in terms of what we would traditionally call the curriculum. Part of that is based on accreditation standards for us. However, within each course, what the learning outcomes and what's going to be covered in the course, there's some flexibility there. And so there's two kind of approaches you can do. You can either create courses that may, for example, be an AI course. I would rather see AI being implemented in all of our courses as opposed to giving students just one AI course. I think that there's tools that, whether, we mentioned earlier, in addition to your marketing classes, there might be a management class, a human resource class, an accounting class. And I think it's important that students are familiarized with those tools in all professions, not just a limited one. So I think you're going to see AI tools evolving in almost every single business industry. They're already there. In my research last year and putting the list together for all of my programs, this also includes the public safety and culinary area. I think I composed a list of close to 200 different AI tools that are out there. I'd love to be able to expose students to all of them, but it's impossible.
If you were to start like a new marketing company, how much would you involve AI?
I think it would depend a little bit on the nature of the clientele. If you were a small firm, I think it would be important based to have somebody in your firm that had some AI experience and tools. If you're talking about a larger marketing firm, take somebody like Hart Advertising. I would anticipate that the new people that they're looking for are going to need a couple different skills. One of them they're going to want is, do you have any analytics background? The second area is going to be your familiarity with the AI tools that they're currently using. So I think it's going to be critical.
Thank you so much, Dean Taylor, for coming and talking to us today, sharing your insight.
This has been Owens Buzz on Biz, presented by Marketing and Sales students on Outcast OCCR, Owens Community College Radio.